Mums of Reddit, what do you know about your child that you will never tell to him her? Have a daughter in college. Her first summer back home I went to wash all of her clothes she brought back. As a college girl, it was at least 4 loads. As I sorted her clothes before washing them out tumbled 4 butt plugs wrapped in a bag. They were huge, like huge. So I carefully wrapped them back up and slid them back into her things. TLDR. Daughter likes sticking huge things in her butt. I am a parental figure to my orphaned younger siblings, and there's something I'll never tell my sister. When she was going through a terrible period as a Greek addict, late teens, she stole our mom's wallet and all of our mom's credit cards. Bank accounts had to be cancelled and changed. Our mom was in bad health but had a huge life insurance policy she had gotten almost 15 years prior, when she was healthier. When the accounts were cancelled, she forgot to change the auto payments for the insurance. It was declined and subsequently cancelled. She couldn't get another policy anymore. She had too many health problems. My mom told me about all this in confidence. Less than 2 years later our mom died. Everyone thought she had a life insurance policy to help us, but she didn't. She left absolutely nothing. I'm the only one who knows why. It would kill my sister to know her addiction cost us several $100,000. The recovery from our mom's death was really hard. Siblings moved in with me, etc. And the insurance money could have saved us a long period of financial and emotional struggle. Knowing something like that could push your sister back into a bad place, but it couldn't have always been easy to keep that secret. Your mother would be so proud of you. That when he was 3, he created a suit of body armor out of maxi pads, and I have photographic evidence. Authentic period armor. I've answered this before, but my teenage daughter writes smutty fan fiction on Tumblr and has thousands of followers. She doesn't know that I know, and it's pretty dang good, too. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this elsewhere. Still relevant. I was turning my daughter's mattress when I came across a notebook full of female nudes. She must have been putting it together for some time, not wanting to embarrass her or violate her trust. I finished flipping the mattress and put the notebook back just as I'd found it. That was years ago and she still has no idea. Good, these are making me think all the embarrassing stuff my mum must have found all these years. Those pictures I had below my mattress and below my books on my bookshelf. I never know what happened to those once I left home. When my daughter was 3, she bonked my mom in the head with a toy, as 3-year-olds are prone to do. My mom had a blood clotting disease and got a blood clot in her head about a week later and eventually died from it. I'm not sure anyone but me has put 2 and 2 together, and I aim to keep it that way. My daughter had no idea what she was doing. Because she was 3, she would probably literally kill herself if she found this out, since she is a hair bipolar and gets to a really dark place with too much bad news. My mom never seemed to put 2 and 2 together. She had the disease for 13 years and most people only live 6, so she felt very blessed. My wife would be devastated to know this, even though she knows I don't think she connected them. She probably doesn't remember my daughter bonking my mom on the head anymore. So, I'll never tell them, and that's okay. TLDR. My 3-year-old accidentally killed grandma because she didn't understand that you can't hit people with toys or that my mom had a blood clotting disease. Thanks for letting me get this out. I've never told anybody this before. That she ate cat poop. We had a very long-haired cat at the time. RIP little buddy. Apparently some poop got stuck to his fur only to fall out upstairs where the baby was crawling around and found it. 5 years later she is still a normal, happy and healthy child. Sorry sweetheart. Your kid now has toxoplasmosis and will eventually become a cat slave. Good going, little buddy. I kid, though. Even if she did have it, it's not proven to be terribly harmful and she wouldn't be alone by far. I saw my flip cam was missing from the table I put it on and went to look for it in my 11-year-old son's room. I checked to see if there was anything recorded and there was. He was masturbating to a magazine of mine advertising women's clothing and underwear, and commenting about which girl he would like to put his dong in. I put the camera back, and when he came home I asked him to bring it downstairs if he had it. That gave him time to delete the videos, and he has no idea I am now hiding my flip cam and ladies clothing magazines. He will never know I saw his tiny boner being manipulated to images of plus-sized women. You might want to tell him to never ever put things on the internet. That the only reason I taught my kids how to play poker was so that I could learn their tells and know when they're lying to me. Probably not the answer you are looking for. My son is 4 and he doesn't think I know about the vegetables he puts in his pockets when I'm not looking. Oh, I know, alright. Laundry is fun. My 3-year-old is a very affectionate little guy, but he's very embarrassed about his being affectionate. He thinks I don't know he comes into my room every morning for snuggles and then sneaks out when I wake up. I caught my son once pretending to milk himself into a bucket while taking a bath. He was only around 4 years old, so I don't think he remembers, but he was hovering over a bucket and squeezing his penis. I asked him what he was doing and he told me he was pretending his penis was an udder and he was trying to get milk. I said okay honey and slowly closed the door. The end. I did that to a dog when I was like 5. My mom laughed and told my grandma, who laughed harder. I really hope they forgot that. I know what their faces look like when they're trying to take a dump. In the same moment, I also realized my mother knows the same thing about me. I went for a walk once with my daughter when she was about a year old. It was along a cement paved path that went through this little scenic park area. Lots of suburban nature and crap. I had brought the stroller along but she was getting a bit antsy, so I took her out and sat her on the handle, facing me, and I held onto her waist and basically used her bum and my forearms to push the stroller. As we walked, this section of the pavement in front of us just ended up being just covered in crickets. I don't know why there were so many. I had never known this trail to have crazy amounts of crickets midday. Well, I anxiously start pushing through them with the stroller, hoping if I move slowly, they'll have time to hop out of the way. They mostly hopped away, but one hopped right up onto my daughter's face. I panicked, and in a split-second reaction, I straight up smacked her. The cricket hopped off her face again before I got to it, but she looked at me so stunned and started crying. And then I cried because I felt horrible, but I couldn't stop laughing because of how stupid the whole thing was. Got lots of weird looks as I cried, laughed the rest of the short walk home. She will never know. Tell her, that's hilarious. She was conceived because I really wanted an iced cappuccino from Tim Hortons. He didn't feel like driving so I made him a deal. It actually ended pretty nicely in a field under a clear night sky with many stars out. Traded physical intimacy for coffee. Heck, I live in Seattle and that crap doesn't even happen here. Stay at home dad. Here, I'm hoping that I never have the need to tell my kids that 2 out of the 3 served jail time in utero. Dude, antepartum street cred. I'll never tell my dear son that I follow every freaking single comment he makes on Reddit and that I'm the one who gives him the golds. Poor kid will always think that he's a such funny person. Not my kid, but at a family party my cousin who was 3 or 4 at the time needed a pee. The party was a buffet and when his dad took him to the toilet he discovered that the kid had been secretly threading hula hoop crisps onto his dong. Not sure how well this translates for non-UK people. I will never, ever tell my daughter that when she was 1 week old I accidentally threw her across the room onto a wood floor. It was about 2 AM. I was breastfeeding her in the living room and a huge spider crawled on my arm. The whole new baby late at night thing made me stupid. So my reaction was to use the arm I was holding the baby in to get the spider off my other arm. My little girl went flying. It was horrible. She was fine, though, completely unharmed, just kind of pee off. No one tell her. You can't just offer your baby to a spider to make it go away. My son's grandparents have custody of him in Australia. His mother and I were a one-time fling on a beach in North Carolina along with another girl at the same time. She went to prison for trafficking large quantities of drugs in Australia, which is a major offense over there. I think she's serving 25 to life or something. One day I was called by the Australian version of child services telling me that I need to come pick up my son. I didn't even know that I had a son until then. He was 7 at the time. Apparently what had happened was she put my name down on his birth certificate and kept my contact info on a bookmark that hung from her rearview mirror. His grandparents came and got him. They tell him that his daddy is off fighting in the war and I've only spoken with him twice. I have sent over my part of a paternity test a few times to see if he is actually mine or not, but his grandparents keep ignoring them. I think they're afraid that I will just show up one day and take him away. He doesn't really know me and it would be awkward for me to take custody of a 12-year-old that I don't even know if he is mine or not. I think he's gonna be pee when he finds out the truth. So I took a leather-bound journal and wrote out all the things about me that I think he should know along with the real story about why I wasn't around. I've included several stories about me and my time in the army, my travels, and a lot of good advice covering many situations that he may find himself in, complete with glossary and index. I wrapped up this journal along with my own dog-eared copy of the Ranger Handbook with my own notes written in, an old set of my dog tags, and a way to contact me. I sent it to a lawyer's office in Australia with instructions to deliver it to him on his 18th birthday. I'm looking forward to the Reddit post about his delivery when the time comes. Holy crap, I was expecting this to get buried. Thanks for all the replies, reminders, gold, and support. This post really is the TLDR. I've made multiple attempts to the grandparents, but I'm always ignored. I've only gotten through when I've called on his birthday, and that was just twice. I know who my father is, but I kinda wish I could have found out by a mystery lawyer turning up with a weathered, dusty package full of stamps, asking me to sit down. Hoa. From a son's pov, but my mom, and the rest of my family, have hidden from me that my older brother is only my half brother, same mom, my entire life so far, and they think I don't know, but I overheard my grandmother talking about it at a family reunion years ago. Same here, there's so much evidence that I can't not know, but they still won't tell me. If we had not lost the baby before him, he could not have been conceived. This applies to both children. That I know he is suicidal. I fear if I let him know that he'll go through with it or be too ashamed to speak with me again. Not a mom, but my cousin doesn't know that he is the product of rape. My entire extended family knows, and as far as I know, nearly all of his cousins know aside from his own brother and sister. He was always treated special because of it, like if babying him will somehow make everything okay. He's turned out to be an entitled dickface because of it. This story was a roller coaster. Oh no, that's terrible, comma. Well, at least his family made sure to love him. Oh no, he became an butthole. Years ago we had an awesome cat named Chosen One. We all loved this cat, but especially my oldest son who, at the time, was just beginning to drive. He was about 17 or so. One day my son was leaving the house to go somewhere, and when he left he reached down and gave Chosen a little love, and out the door he went. Unbeknownst to him, the cat had followed him out the door, and for some reason the cat must have ran under the car. Nobody actually witnessed this event, so we're speculating on what exactly happened. So my son drives off, and a little while later I go outside, only find Chosen laying on the driveway curled up in a ball dead. We think the kitty ran under the car or was in front of the tire or something, and when my son drove away he ran over Chosen and killed him. We were all pretty upset, of course, and when my son came home we told him Chosen had been hit by a car in the road and died. We've never told him, and never will, that we're pretty sure he was the one that killed the cat. He'd blame himself and forever feel guilty about killing his favorite cat. My son wasn't planned, and I never ever wanted or planned to have kids. I fell pregnant accidentally. He will never ever be told this because my mum repeatedly told me I was an accident as a child, and it really fricked with me. I like to call my first son a wonderful surprise. He really was too. I walked in on my 5-year-old stepson with his pants down, rubbing the cat against his dong and saying, "Oh, that feels good." I said, "That's not what the cat is for." He was embarrassed. The cat hasn't been the same since. I'm imagining a cat with 1,000-yard stare. That cat has seen some crap. My daughter is not biologically my husband's. She was conceived with donor sperm. Hubby is sterile. I want to tell her because I think it's fair just for medical reasons alone. Especially now considering she was born with a major heart defect. Hubby doesn't want to tell her. Might not ever. I don't think it would matter, but I would be devastated if it made her think less of my husband. She's only been with us a month, but he loves her so much. It would crush him. Anyway, yeah, that's our secret for her. She should probably know cause of medical history stuff. I didn't know something about my family and was misdiagnosed twice. He has a third nipple. It's small, but it's a nipple. That seems like something you should probably talk to him about. Sadly, I'm pretty sure my mother has nothing to post here. She was awfully open about everything. From my stepdad's dong size to the inside joke about duck penises her and my biological father had, or how she likes it rough, or what toys are good for what, or how much she really wishes I were gay, or how I was conceived because spermicidal gel isn't very effective, or how itchy her crotch is at any given time. Seriously, I wish my mom had at least one thing to post to this thread, but if she does, it could only be so terrifying it would break my psyche. She tells you all this stuff because she doesn't think it's that bad compared to the really deep, dark secrets she has. I have a favorite. I knew they do have favorites. He was conceived after we got lost trying to find a Halloween party at a friend's new place. We ended up just going home, but as I was already in the French maid costume, it made perfect sense to get drunk and forget the birth control. I don't imagine we will ever tell him he was conceived inside a French maid costume. Actually, who am I kidding? We will totally bust this story out for his future spouse. That there's a chance he was conceived while me and his dad were both tripping on acid. Have tripped a lot. Physical intimacy never entered into my mind. Dad here. I know what he's doing with the butter, and that's why I buy the store brand for him to make toast at night and leave my good butter alone. And there's a reason I bought our own rechargeable batteries. Because it's nice to have any remote actually work when you try to use it. There's not a calculator in the world that goes through batteries like that. Not exactly a mom. I'm actually a son of a mother. But my mom has never told me that she had a baby before me. That baby had a female version of my name and died at I think 2 weeks old. She said she named me what she did because of some Norwegian thing, but I know it's after my sister. My grandma accidentally let it slip when I was like 17. I do wish my mom would tell me though. That I found a treasure hunt he had created as a surprise for his girlfriend on their anniversary. One of the clues was that she should go to the place where he first fricked her in the butt. I should add, they were both adults when they first met, so whatever they do in their private lives is their business only. But I can never unsee that note. I will never tell my son that his biological dad tried to kill us and himself when I was 6 weeks pregnant because he didn't want to be a dad. You have been visited by the magical sugar jar Puggo. He'll only share his sweetener if you comment Surga please, Mr. Papa. Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.